Hi guys, welcome to another PS Pro tutorial, and in today's tutorial we're going to start looking at the shape tool. And what Photoshop has given us is given us a great way of making different shapes that we can actually start working with. So normally Photoshop, you import images such as photographs, things like that, but you can also use it just to make a ton of cool effects for things like logos, nice boxes, and any kind of little icons or marks that you want to start putting on your creative material. So it could be things like borders and stuff like that. So the first tool I'm going to kick off now with is the rectangle tool, and it really is what it says. So you can select the rectangle tool, head up on it here, and choose what kind of color that you want to actually fill the rectangle with, or the shape that you draw. You can also look at things like changing the color of the stroke. So I'm just going to change this to white for arguments of this tutorial, and you can also adjust the thickness of the actual stroke or the line around the shape that you're going to draw, as well as the kind of line on the stroke that you want, or the kind of pattern. So I'm just going to leave those settings set to that and just show you what I mean. And all I'm going to do is just draw a quick little shape. So you can see you've got the fill color here and you've got the stroke color. Now if I delete that and do the same again, I'm not going to dwell too much on this, and I'm going to change the color of the stroke, for example. So I'm just going to change that to red, and I'm going to use a dashed line, and I'm actually going to change this to black just so you can see the kind of quick different things that you're going to do, and just draw a line around the logo. Now because that's a layer over the actual logo, I'm just going to drag the layer down below so you can see that's put a little dash line around the actual logo. It's very simple, really pretty self-explanatory, and I'm going to move on to the next tool, which is the rounded rectangle tool. Now this works exactly the same, except this time I'm going to use a stroke from the actual colour of the palette. And you can see up here you've got the radius. So what the radius does is it literally just puts a shape or a kind of curve on the actual box. So you can see that that's got a radius of 50 pixels, whereas if I do the same again and then just put a radius of say 10 pixels and draw a very similar size shape, you can see quite clearly that the actual radius here of the corner has just been reduced ever so slightly. So again, not going to dwell too much on that because I think it's fairly self-explanatory. There's a lot of different things that you can use it for, and you've also got a few other different kind of shapes that you can make with it. Now what's really cool, I'm going to not talk about the others because just going to have a play with them and see what you find, but we've also got the custom shape tool. And what the custom shape tool is, if I head on up here, you'll see a new little icon has been displayed in the toolbar, and for purpose of this tutorial you can see that there's a few presets in Photoshop already. So if I want to draw an arrow, for example, I can just drop it on like that. Now obviously that's got the same stroke, so I'm just going to change that, and I'm going to choose the fill color like the arrow, turn the stroke off, and you can start drawing little arrows. So moving on, just show you that again, I'm going to use a little tick mark, and you can just start doing different shapes. So why would you want to use this tool as opposed to just doing it as a normal image and potentially drawing it, which you can do using the lasso tool or a various marquee tool? Well, the whole point of this is because it's actually been done as a shape, it's worked out, or the Photoshop has remembered the information as a mathematical formula rather than a set of pixels. So really what this directly means to you is that you can do things such as scaling it up, and it still keeps a really nice sharp edge, as opposed to if I had drawn that in any of the other ways, you wouldn't be able to scale it up. So really simple there, guys. Lots of different shapes you can start playing around with. These are perfect if you're doing things like web banners and making swipe files, which is a bit of an advanced technique, something I'm going to talk about later on in some other tutorials. But what you can do is once you start creating the basic shapes and logos and things like that, you can then scale things to an infinite size rather than using pixels where it's going to start getting blurry. So I'm going to cut out now. I think there's a lot of different things that you can do there just to have a little play and see how you get on. So thanks for watching this very quick tutorial, and I'll see you in another tutorial soon.